Hey guys, it's Angela, Create Your Future. So today I have a great personal success story about manifesting safety in a bad weather situation. And I have manifested something similar and made a video similar to this several years ago in a situation where we were traveling in very severe, dangerous weather, and I manifested a pocket of clearing, a bubble of clearing, you could say, that followed us all the way home. It was actually something that we could see on the radar as we traveled. So I've done this before. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory to this weather situation. In my community, about a month or 6 weeks ago, we did have a tornado here, probably a smaller tornado, but there was no loss of life, but a lot of damage in this area. I had a family member that a giant tree fell on their house and did just terrible damage to the home. My next door neighbor had a giant tree in the back that fell on the back of their house and was so destructive to their structure of their home, and the roof caved in. All over our community, homes, businesses. I think some of the schools closed the day after. There was no electricity for a long period of time. And what's interesting about that is we were right on the cusp of like one street over in every direction for being without electricity, but it didn't affect us. I don't know if I manifested that or what, but a huge portion of our community was without electricity for close to a week. We managed to be fortunate, or I manifested being fortunate in that incident. But anyway, we had just come out of a storm that wreaked a lot of havoc in our community. Well, just about a week ago, we were getting reports that another very severe storm system was going to be coming our way. And this time they were saying things like it was going to be one of the worst storms on record in our area. So let me read one thing that was posted online about this. Sunday could bring tornadoes, but Monday's storm setup has the potential to be even more dangerous, possibly the worst in over a decade. Start making your safety plans now. Now, stuff like this was all over the internet locally, like one of the worst storms that we've had in this area in decades. That's pretty strong, making a strong assertion. The percent was way up close to 100%. You know, it's coming. It's not that we think it might, but it's coming. People were posting things like, where are open shelters? Where can we go? We don't have a basement. I mean, our whole area was pretty concerned about everything that we were reading and hearing about. We were being urged to get our safe place ready, your shelter ready, find a shelter, keep your cell phones charged, watch the weather, be weather aware. They even canceled some events that were scheduled for that evening that the storm was coming. So it was a pretty big deal, and it was really expected to be terrible. And I myself also felt a little anxious and a little fearful about all of that. I wasn't happy about that. But I reminded myself, I've manifested safety, and I've actually manifested a clearing in my reality in bad weather, so I can do it again. So the day of the storm, it was supposed to start later in the afternoon. The skies were really overcast. It looked terrible. It was very cloudy, very dark. It was still, it was hot, it was humid, it was ominous. But I started saying, everyone's going to be safe. Homes, buildings, businesses are going to be safe, and it's just really not going to be a big deal. It'll be okay. I started saying that. I just started telling myself that. My youngest daughter, who's really terrified of storms, was really upset and came to me and said, Mom, I'm really scared because I hear what everybody's saying. I've seen what the reports are. I'm so scared about this. And I said, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. We may get thunder and lightning, but I think It's just going to be like a spring storm. No big deal. I was talking myself into just being pretty calm about it. I expressed it as I shared that with my daughter. I spoke it right into our experience as well as my thoughts. Every time somebody said, "Oh goodness, are you getting ready? Are you getting ready to hunker down in a shelter?" Inside, I was saying, it's not going to be a big deal. Everybody's going to be safe. Our community, our houses, our businesses, they're going to be safe. I just kept telling myself that over and over. So in the evening, probably around 4, I think, was when they thought this was going to be rolling in. And it was coming from the southeast. There were tornadoes that had happened as the storm was moving through. But I just kept affirming what I was going to affirm for, my area and our safety. But in the evening, I think it was supposed to come around 4:30 or something. We were outside. We had to have a closed-in porch, kind of sitting there watching the weather. Nothing really was happening. And so they pushed it back. Well, more like 4:30 or 5. 4:30 or 5 came. Nothing was really happening. They pushed it back. Looks like it's going to get here around 6. Now 6:30. They kept pushing it back till probably around 7. A thunderstorm rolled in. Thunder, lightning, and rain. But there was no hail. There was no dangerous wind. It was just a thunderstorm. And we kept watching and waiting. Is it going to ramp up? Is it going to get worse? We looked online at the models where they have the radars. That really dark red that you see in the thunderstorms seemed to be going around our community, almost like it was breaking up and kind of going around. That's it. That's all that happened. We didn't have any large hail. They were saying baseball size hail, to expect that. We had no hail, no heavy winds, no rotation was showing up in any of the models that the meteorologists were looking at. No torrential flooding rains. It simply was a thunderstorm that moved through. That's it. Because I choose to believe that my thoughts had some influence on what was going on. I've seen it happen before. And so I really believe that my thoughts had a part in what happened with this storm. That my thoughts chose to not embody fear, anxiety. I was paying attention. I didn't stick my head in the sand, but I was trying to cultivate a space of confidence and feeling at ease and just de-escalating any emotion that was wanting to get all wrapped up in fear and anxiety and dread. I think we're all going to be okay. I think our homes and businesses are going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. That's what showed up for me in our reality. Now, the reason I'm sharing it is because, it wasn't that we just had one little report that showed up that said, oh, we're going to get a bad weather system. They had been predicting this for several days, and it was all over the place on the local news stations, online, meteorologists. It was all over the place. And, saying that this has the potential to be one of the worst storms that we have seen in decades, I think they're feeling strongly about what they're seeing when they report that, right? It didn't happen that way. So guys, your thoughts affect everything. I say this almost in every video. They affect everything. Your thoughts are pushing out everything in your experience is listening to you. It's not just a romantic partner or a friendship or your boss. It's not just, relationships. Everything is responding to you in your internal state and the thoughts that you are feeding, right? Your house is listening, your car is listening, plants are listening. Everything is listening to you. And you can have an effect on things. You can have situations turn around. You can have things change. I believe that. I've seen it happen. And I've seen it happen with weather, not just these two situations, but I've seen it happen a lot of times where things shifted and changed and systems went the other way. It does work. Your thoughts can direct things when you choose to focus on the outcome that you want, right? With the understanding that everything is coming through you. You're not just a sitting duck and a victim. You can harness your thinking, harness your thoughts, and direct them in the direction that you want them to go to create a safer outcome, a happy outcome, a better outcome. It's your thoughts, it's your thinking, it's where you're putting your focus. You can put your focus on what everybody else is focusing on. You can put your focus on what you're seeing. So in this instance, I had everybody around me in the grocery store, at the bank, everybody talking about, are you getting ready for this big storm? Do you guys have a storm shelter? Everybody was talking about that. I could have focused on that. I could have looked directly at the 3D around me all day long. It looked like we were in for a whopper. It felt like we were in for a whopper. But I chose to change my story. I chose a better outcome. You can do that. You can do that with everything. Doesn't matter what it is. Your thoughts are shaping everything in your reality, creating your experience, and you can make it be what you want. So that is my success story. I hope it encourages you and motivates you. Everyone and everything is you pushed out. Everything is you pushed out. Remember that, okay? Guys, if you want to work with me one-on-one, if you'd like some coaching, I can help you manifest your desire. I can help you build that faith. I can help you strengthen your inner person so that you can manifest safety in bad weather. You can manifest your specific person. You can manifest income. You can manifest a job. I can help you do this work to get the life that you would love to live. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.